Okay, so for this video, I'm going to show you the old way that people have been doing post-purchase flows and then the new way, which is far more profitable and is actually going to get buyers, or first-time buyers in particular, to actually come back and buy again. So they actually adopt the product, they actually use it, and they're successful with it, right? So let's first have a look at the old way of doing a post-purchase flow. So somebody buys a product, and this is the typical flow you'll see all e-commerce brands using. This is the typical flow that you're probably going to see in a course that you buy. Nearly all of them have the exact same content, the exact same messaging, the exact same strategy, but they're just very, very ineffective, right? And I'll show you why. So this is the old way. Somebody buys for the first time, and then they typically get an email flow that's very similar to this. First email is just like, welcome to the family. Thanks for buying our product. We appreciate it. Sometimes there's some humor in it. Sometimes it tells a little bit about the brand. And then the second email is just like getting them excited about receiving the product. Then the third email is possibly some product education tips, like, here's how to use the product, or here's how to clean it and take care of it, right? And then after they get that, they'll get an email that possibly asks for a review. And then you'll just see some emails that are pushing them for a repeat purchase. So it'll be an email that says, hey, come back and buy again and we'll give you 10% off. And then that's it. That is the typical flow you'll see again and again and again. There's a bunch of problems with this and why it's very ineffective. So let's now look at what a new profitable way of doing a post-purchase flow looks like. This is what me and my team use every day. It's not cookie cutter. Every brand's going to need something different, but this is a very, very good base to start with as far as messaging goes and consumer psychology, right? Marketing psychology, purchasing psychology. So a few things to note. It's a very dense experience, okay? People get super excited as soon as they buy. You're pretty hyped up, your adrenaline's running, you're excited, you're engaged. And then typically what happens is you get buyer's remorse. So I'm sure you've done the same thing. You've gone out, you've spent $500 on shoes, your paycheck's gone, and then the next thing you're thinking is, why did I spend $500 on shoes, right? And you don't want that affecting somebody's mentality when they receive the product. You want them to feel like they made the right decision, they made the right choice, that they bought from you instead of the competitor that they were looking at and comparing you both, right? So that's also what happens. Someone goes, shit, I should have bought from brand B. I bought from these guys. And then there's so many other things that happen. But really the post-purchase is so important because it's going to be the make and break of retention. And what I mean by that is this first-time buyer going to come back and buy again? Because as we know, getting first-time buyers is great, especially if you're profitable. But really the aim of the game is to turn a first-time buyer into a second-time, third-time, fourth-time buyer, right? So here's the main goals of this flow. So the first one is profit. So what I mean by that is typically a first-time buyer is not profitable for most brands. You have the cost of delivering the product, you have the cost of goods, you have the processing fees, you have the shipping fees. You add all of that up, and then on top of that, there's the cost, and on top of that, there's the cost to acquire the customer, right? So maybe you've spent money on Facebook ads and it costs you $50 to acquire that customer. Or you've got somebody doing organic social media who's posting on Instagram and stuff. Even if they're just doing that, it's costing you to acquire that customer because they're putting in time and you're paying that person. So the first-time buyer usually doesn't have much profit margins in them after they buy. So really where you get a lot of your profit is from a second-time purchase. And that's what we're trying to do here. Secondly, remove that buyer's remorse so they don't feel guilty or bad about spending all that money on your brand. So that's number 2. Number 3 is very important. This is where a lot of people slip up, right? It's actually product use and success. If you want somebody to come back and buy your product again, well, of course, first you have to have a great product, but 2, they actually have to use the product and they have to be successful with the product. So using the product means if it's like skincare or supplements or any sort of consumable product, that means it's going to finish and they're going to have to come back and buy more. But on top of that, it's also being successful with the product, right? They can use the product and maybe not have that much success and they're not going to come back. So we want to make sure they have product use and success. And then the last thing is actually finding out why first-time buyers don't turn into second-time buyers. Typically, 70 to 80% of buyers that come to your store they actually don't buy a second time. So it's very important for you as a business to figure out, why doesn't a first time buyer turn into a second time buyer? And if you can find that out, then you can fix your funnel. You can fix your product page, fix your product, fix your customer service, and then it's going to increase the amount of people who come back and buy a second time. So let's look at some email content, right? First email you send out, a lot of people say, don't do this. They just bought an item. But really, you should just do an immediate upsell, cross-sell. Sometimes you have them on the product page, you have them in the checkout. But sometimes people go, okay, I don't want to add anything extra. They check out, but this is like a last-ditch effort. You send them an email and you go, hey, in the next hour, you can buy this product for this percentage off, right? The reason why we do that is because customers are most engaged right after a purchase. They're engaged, they're excited, right? Because they just made that purchase, they've just pulled out their credit card, spent some money. That is the time where they're most likely to buy another item again. That's why when you go through like marketing funnels, you always see these upsells after you buy the main product, because they know the chances that somebody's gonna, spend some more money is right there and then. So the trick to this is not to just offer them any product or any discount or anything, but you want to show them a low cost, best-selling and high margin item, right? Low cost, so it's an easier decision for them. It's not going to be like, hey, buy something for $100, and they're like, man, I just spent all this money. It needs to be best-selling because we know that people love this type of product, and high margin because the name of the game is we want profit out of this second purchase, like even more profit out of this person. And we always want to use urgency and a discount or incentive. So the urgency is always going to be, look, this is a one-time offer for a first-time buyer, and it expires in 1 hour. So let's look at some examples here. So I'm going to start with Karma Loop because this is actually a very, very famous email of theirs, and a lot of people know about it. But basically, it's they buy something and it goes, hurry, add any black, gray, or white tea to your order for only $9, right? Then they have, this is actually a moving GIF. So it's an analog GIF, and it's always great to use these visual cues of either analog or digital clock. So it kind of tells them like, okay, there's urgency, and use order in the next 60 minutes, use this code, right? And then that's the other thing. Don't give them 5, 10 products. Don't tell them you can get anything in store. Be very specific, right? So 1, 2, or 3 products works best. Anything over that, and it's going to make people think too much and they won't make a buying decision. So that is Karma Loop. Here's one from Jollibee. So they just have their best-selling product, which is the turmeric gummy. The next hour, get 20% off, 60 minutes to claim it. This is actually a moving GIF also, 20% off, enter code, and then it also just shows them some great benefits of using this product. And then you have Dollar Shave Club. Same thing here. This wasn't really an immediate upsell, but it's kind of like your subscription's about to come around again, so why don't you throw in some extra items in there? But that gives you a good idea of kind of like what the email content would look like, right? So that's the immediate upsell. Now, this is what you typically find in a lot of Klaviyo email marketing flows, but I'm going to flip the script on its head a little bit. So recently we were looking at a brand, it was a supplement brand called Mountain Ops, right? And we're like, cool, you could do an immediate upsell, but really, it's a supplement brand. Why don't we treat it just like a regular sales funnel, right? Instead, we don't have to sell more of the same thing or random products. Instead, we should sell the next thing the customer needs, right? So it has to be a do-it-faster solution, a custom need help coaching offer, or something that complements the original purchase. So the great thing about these guys is that they actually have a team of fitness experts ready to chat for a price. So they can offer a bunch of things, right? Personalized nutrition plans, coaching calls, top tier training packages, everything like that. So you go here, as you can see, right? There's the custom nutrition plan, this and this, right? So if somebody's buying supplements, for them to get the results they want, it's not just about eating the supplements. They actually have to have a good diet. They actually have to train, right? And, if you're a supplement brand, you know this. So why not make something like this your immediate upsell? Say, hey, you just purchased in the next hour, it's a one-time offer. You can get our nutrition, like custom nutrition plan for $40. or the continued coaching package for $25 or anything like that, right? So right after the customer buys something, shoot them an email, get them dreaming about achieving their goals faster. We stack that up with value, create a bit of urgency, shower them with customer success stories, right? From everybody else who's gone through this. And then you invite them to book a call with one of the experts, right? Another amazing thing about this is you don't have to worry about all the other stuff that comes with an immediate upsell of a product. You don't have to worry about shipping. You don't have to worry about fulfillment. You don't have to worry about returns or cost of goods or anything like that. The margins are much higher. And then secondly, of course, it's going to help the customer adopt the product, so use it. It's going to help them form healthy habits so they get great results, and then they're going to taste success. Remember, customers buying supplements, they're not just buying a bottle of pills, they're actually buying a transformation in the end, right? So if you can get them to that transformation more successfully and more quicker, they're going to come back and buy your products again and again and again. So now we go to eliminate buyer's remorse. Super simple. Somebody buys a product, they kind of feel shitty or guilty about it. We need to back them up and let them know they've made the right decision. Some ways I love to do this is by using comparison style emails. So here's status earphones. So they're showing you an email and they're saying you've bought our product and this is how it actually compares to AirPods Pro, right? Which is a really well-known product. Triple speaker versus single speaker. 12-hour battery versus 4-hour battery. Bluetooth 5.2, right? Quality is better. And then, of course, the price is better, right? So this is going to help because you have to remember when people buy your products, it's very likely they're comparing your products to your competitors. They've probably got a few tabs open. They're reading the reviews. They're reading your product description, comparing the prices, right? And then they may buy from you. And I've done this a million times. I buy from one brand. And then as soon as I buy it, I think, fuck, should I have bought from the other brand instead, right? And so this just helps reinforce that they've made the right decision. Cool. So here's another quick one from Whiskey Loot. It's actually not, this is more like an abandoned checkout, but I think you could use it in the same manner, right? Somebody's bought, then you can send them an email like, great, you made a right decision. Here's all the cool things you can do with your new product. And I like it because it's got some humor in it and it's nice and funny. Try new whiskeys every month, drink really, really slowly, buy 3,000 bottles, make a whiskey bath, things like that. So as you know, you'll sometimes hear a lot of people say, as I said before, that you shouldn't be selling to somebody right after they purchase. And a lot of people just say that, but they actually don't look at the data. So we have a lifetimely for a lot of our clients, and we can look at cohorts of people who've bought every month, and then we can also look at time between purchases. So as you can see, this was for a supplements brand. Everybody bought within a month or two, right? And then see how it's a bit darker here? So they made an order within the first month, and then this is pretty much by the second month. Fuck, is that correct? I should double check that. So what we're looking at here is this shows you that the largest percentage of people who bought every month, they came back just after 30 days and made a second purchase, right? And then the month after that, they've purchased again, but as after that, it just completely dwindles and churns, right? You're going to get the most repeat purchases within the first 30, 60, 90 days of somebody's first purchase. You can see it here also, all the purchases accumulating in this section. And then we can even look at time between first and second purchase, right? So for this skincare brand, it's an 8-figure skincare brand, 44% of people, of first-time buyers, made their second purchase within the first 30 days, right? And the funny thing about this skincare brand is that actually we can set this to showing us every 5 days, and it'll actually show you that the most amount of people purchase within the next 4 to 7 days after making their first purchase, right? So once again, it's all just reinforcing that people want to buy very quickly after their first purchase and they don't want to wait around. And if you do wait around, they just churn, right? They stop. It's not even that they stop opening emails. After 60, 90 days, people start churning exponentially. They don't come back and buy again, right? So that's a very it's like a golden window to get people to come back and buy again and again. All right, so after eliminate buyer's remorse, now we're getting into the more important, really deeper stuff with with more psychology, right? It's email 3 product education. Cool, easy. Give them tips and tricks and all that. But number 4 is habit formation, also known as product adoption, or what we also like to call as product activation. Now, if you really want somebody to come back and buy again, they have to use your product. And as you know, with a lot of products, if it's skincare or if it's supplement, people buy the product and then they forget to use it. They use it for a week or 2 and then they just stop using it. Or they don't use it every day like they're supposed to. If that happens, they're not going to run out of the product. And number 2, they're not going to get the results that they want. So there's a few things that you can do here, right? So the first thing I'm going to go into is more about the challenges, right? So, and you can, if you just brainstorm, you can come up with millions of ideas for the type of brand that you have. So let's say for fitness brands, right? Okay, cool. So with Mountain Ops again, who we found, they have this like Conquer Fitness training page, training and meal plans, fitness challenges and more and things like that. And then they have that paid consultation. Then you can even go down here and there's things like this, 90 days with Eric McCormack. So really, if someone's going through a post-purchase flow, once again, that's when they're most engaged. It's when they're actually going to be reading your emails, where they're going to be clicking your emails. After 30, 60 days, they kind of stop looking at your emails as much. But right after they purchase, they want to read them. So what you want to do is actually set a challenge for people. So it could be a 7-day skincare boot camp. It can be a 20-day fitness challenge. So as I said, we saw with Mountain Ops that they had this really cool thing, 90 days training program. It doesn't have to be over 90 days. Probably shouldn't be. It sounds like too much for somebody to do and they might actually be like, oh, I don't want to start this. So, maybe take it down to 10 or 20 days, right? But this thing's amazing. There's all these videos in here, stretch, test day, phase 1, all these different videos that they can watch, workout 1, workout 2, and then have supplements. Now, the way that you should do it, right, and how they probably should use this is over 20 days of the post-purchase, it's like challenge 1, right? Let's do this. Go to the Facebook group and post that you've completed the challenge. Maybe even give them homework, right? So they actually feel like they're participating and there's a bit of a community atmosphere to it. So they should get the first email, challenge 1. They click on it and it comes to its own landing page. So this one kind of has the whole challenge in one page, right? Should just go to the first day challenge, which is, okay, we just got to do this, right? This is what we want to focus on. There's the video. And then anything that's mentioned in the video that's educating them, below it, it should actually upsell and cross-sell items that are mentioned in the video, right? So this one just has like, here's a bunch of products. But really it should be day 1, we're going to focus on flexibility and mobility. And then right under the video is like, hey, these were the supplements recommended in the video. These will help with your joints and blah, 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 and so on. And this is what the trainer said about them. And then people can actually click on it and they can go and buy, right? So you're educating them, you're getting them better results, and then you're also selling them more product all at the same time. So that's one example. We recently came across Bibliology Skin also, and they've got this cool thing, School of Bibliology, right? We did an audit for them and then we saw this and then I was like, you've got this School of Bibliology. It's got 6 lessons, understanding your skin, building your basics, exfoliation, the ABCs, right? And I was like, this is going to be perfect for your post-purchase. You can do the 6-day skincare boot camp, right? And then each day you're selling something different, right? So building your basics, it just goes to a landing page where it only has this video and then you're upselling them cleansers, sun care, and then the day 3, it's all about exfoliation. They go to a page that just has this video and once again, it's under it is just selling exfoliation products, right? So on and so forth. Okay, so now I want to show you a different sort of challenge. So this is just like a free, let's get into it. Let's make sure you use the product and get the results that you want. But you'll also find there's other types of challenges that you can do. So Mountain Ops has a $100,000 challenge. You sign up, you submit results. So you take a before photo, sign up for the challenge, put in the work for a month, and then you submit your results. A lot of brands typically use this for campaign emails, but this is also something that you could try and work into your post-purchase. And here's some other examples. This is from Old School Labs. As you can see here, win $5,000 in cash and prizes, fit for summer, sign up now. This is what you could get, what it's like, and then it actually shows past winners, right? which is great social proof and gets people motivated, like, holy shit, I could look like this. I'm going to start using the supplements and I'm going to be like doing these challenges. Crossrope is another amazing example. So they do challenges all the time. They do it in their Facebook community. Same thing. This is like the first email. It's like, hey, this is the challenge. These are the prizes included. Enter the giveaway. And then the second one is join the challenge. Then the next email, still trying to get them into the challenge for people who didn't. It's join the challenge, and it kind of tells you like why. Perfect for beginners, fun, fast, effective workouts, community support, automatic entry into the giveaway, right? And then they follow up with the next one, because I've told you, what's the challenge about? They've told you the benefits of the challenge and all the support you get. And then they follow it up with social proof, right? So instead of them just telling you how great it is, it's going to say, look, this is what all of the students have said about doing our Crossrope challenge, why it's fantastic, and then more social proof of before and afters, right? Perfect funnel to get people to go into a challenge, get them active, get them buying more of your stuff and finding success. Cool. So as you can see, those are some really great ways to get people to use your product, get them success and results, which ultimately is going to lead them to buy your product again. The other great one is community building. So it's actually sending them to an engaged Facebook group. So many brands that do this really well. Ovi, Hey Bud Skincare do it really well. I actually had a LinkedIn post recently where I named a few good brands that do it really well. Petlab.co, it's like 120k members. Crossrope, 98k members. Ovi has 70,000. 301 Nutrition has 410,000 members, right? So pushing people into a Facebook community after they've bought allows them to ask questions in there so that and everybody supports each other, right? Everyone's engaging, everyone's answering questions, asking questions, everyone's posting their results. And so you get a more engaged customer and somebody who's going to stay around for a much longer time. Cool. And then number 5, simply push to omnichannel. Fact of the matter is that just like nobody's going to stay around purchase from you forever, nobody's going to keep opening your emails forever. People are going to churn from your email list. It's a fact. So what do you have to do? You should be getting them onto your TikTok, onto your Instagram, YouTube, Facebook group, right? So that when they stop opening your emails, you know that you're still showing up to them somewhere else in another channel. Then of course we push for the repeat purchase, right? Once we know that they love it, once they've gotten results, push repeat purchase. Then after that, last chance to get this repeat purchase incentive, like 10% off or whatever. But then the other thing that a lot of people miss out is actually collecting some data from the people who didn't come back and buy again. So you can do a split here, right? Has placed order more than once overall time. And then if they haven't, then you want to send them an email and it's just like, hey, just notice, you can have the subject line, tell us why we suck, right? Something like that to really capture their attention. And then in the email, just go, hey, just noticed that you haven't come back and shopped with us again. Could you please let us know why you never came back to make that second purchase? So you want to send them a survey and you want to ask them questions to figure out, did they actually adopt the product? So did they use the product? Did they finish it? And if they say no, then we know that it's an activation problem. Something's wrong. We have to work on different ways to try and get more people to actually use the product through challenges, through community, anything like that. Ask them if they actually got results from the products, because if they didn't get results from the product, then you may want to look at a product development, creating a better product, finding out what they didn't like about the product so you can actually improve your product so more people come back and buy every time they buy for the first time. And also just try and ask questions to figure out, was it a customer experience or shipping process issue, right? So that can mean that customer service needs to be better, or a shipping issue. So maybe you should get something like Wonderment transactional emails that gets them up to date on every little shipping process. So it's going to stop that, where's my package question that's happening. Awesome. So that is pretty much it, right? So we're going from the old school, super basic flow to something far more in depth that's going to make you more profit. I mean, these things are most important. Number 1, profit, make more profit, get that product use and success in your post-purchase flow. That's what's going to get you better margins, going to get you more repeat buyers coming back to your store again and again. For like number 4, figuring out why first time buyers didn't turn into second time buyers. It's good to have it in the flow just to start collecting a lot of people, but it's also very, very good to use as a campaign for first time buyers who haven't come and bought back in like 2 months or 3 months. Just because you can actually then incentivize it a little bit more and go, hey, we've got a $100 Amazon gift card. We're giving it away to 3 people. Just fill out this survey and you're in the draw to win, right? So you can get a lot more people opting in because obviously there's an incentive, but you're still not giving away that much because it's only for 3 people. With this one, you're asking people why they didn't purchase again. You have to think, people who keep buying again, they're like, yep, let's fill out a survey. People who buy once or, don't buy, they receive an email like that, and you can have a much smaller percentage of people filling that out. That about wraps it up. If you want to learn more, hit me up in the comments below. Ask me any questions you have. If you want some examples, let me know. I'll shoot them over. And that's it.